Hello everyone, back again with my presentation updates. If you watched the last one, you'll know that on occasion I have done a number of presentations at various polyglot gatherings and other places, and on occasion the videos have been lost or the actual presentation was not recorded at the time. What I'm going to do today is one of the workshops that I did at the Polyglot gathering in Bratislava. It was a workshop and it had a lot of audience participation. It was a really fun, exciting workshop, a lot of audience participation, and a lot of laughter and fun was had. Unfortunately, we won't be able to emulate that experience today, but I hope you do enjoy and get some information out of this particular workshop. So this is secret missions in a target language country. So what are secret missions? Well, the secret mission for learning a new language is because it's difficult to actually find people to speak to when you're in country. I'm going to try and give you a set of missions that can get you talking to actual people in an actual situation and try to get you to speak outside the safety of your own language. So the idea here is that we're going to have these sort of covert missions that you're going to try and do while you're in country, in your target language country. So the first thing we're going to talk about is covert action, which is to conceal the identity or plausible denial by the sponsor. Clandestine operations is defined as intelligence or military operations carried out in such a way that the operation goes unnoticed by the general population or enemy forces. Eavesdropping is listening for information or distribute untrue information. Infiltration is the act of entering or gaining access to an organization. Interrogation is the interrogation or process of being interrogated, and subterfuge is deceit in order to achieve one's goals. So the first thing we're going to cover is covert action, and here were some of the first few suggestions. In the workshop, I asked audience members to shout out other possible covert actions, and there was a huge number of them, and I'm sure that you can think of some yourself. But here are some of the covert actions that I listed as a starter. You try and find a book you don't have, but it was written in the target language. You go to bookstores, libraries, whatever, ask if they've read it, what their opinion of the book is, if they have it. But it basically gets you talking to book owners, librarians, etc. List 25 things you find in a city and then ask people to help you find them. It's kind of a scavenger hunt, a bicycle rack or a green church or a purple church or whatever the case may be. But you talk to people and actually have quite a fun little game for yourself to scavenger hunt in a new country and a new city. Try and find a random appliance by asking someone to shop for a blender or a tea kettle or electrical wires or a speaker, and then have a conversation with that person. Select items that you're going to collect in your visit and try and buy these every day at a different place. So for example, you're going to get a pencil at a different place every day and try to find more difficult or obscure places to find these things, or more difficult objects to try and find. Order food in a restaurant and then negotiate your bill when it comes. See what happens. Like, don't get annoyed, don't get arrested, but just try and negotiate with the server and see if you can actually negotiate your bill down. You never know, you might be able to save yourself some money. Then we move on to clandestine operations. So here we're being secretive, and we're going to ask people to play leapfrog with you in the park. How many people can you talk into this particular operation? Can you find somebody to juggle 3 objects and ask them to teach you to juggle? So just walk around with 3 tennis balls and try and get somebody to teach you how to juggle. Try and start a band. Try and find people who can play guitars, drums, etc. Ask them if they know anybody who'd be interested in joining a band. Do a film pitch. Memorize it in your target language, and then make up a title, and then approach people and ask them if they'd like to be involved, if they would like to be, a researcher or a actor or a producer or whatever. Try and find 10 people who believe in alien life forms, and ask people until you've found 10. And each time you find somebody, ask them to elaborate on what an alien might look like or how they communicate, etc. So basically, these are sort of starter conversations. And infiltration. Apply for a job in a restaurant. Volunteer at a local church or animal shelter. Now, this is assuming you're going to be there for more than a day, but you could find a bakery and ask about different things. But remember, when you're dealing with staff at restaurants or bakeries or whatever, try and make sure that they're not busy. You don't want to be wasting their time, and you don't want to get them in trouble with the owner. Try and buy tickets at a ticket window for a train or a concert or whatever. Take a flower class, flower arrangement class, or learn how to bake or make cannoli. But don't prepare in advance. Try and get to the class when you get there, so that you're forced to learn while you're there. Then maybe go to a real estate agent and talk about properties that they might have on offer. That sort of thing, and describe what type of home you want to the agent. Now, an interrogation is basically talking someone or getting them to give you information. So go to a supermarket, get a shop assistant to help you find things, ask questions about products, and again, make sure they're not busy and you're not wasting their time too much. Make a film with your digital camera, get people to explain their opinions, the best font to use in a newspaper, what's better, dark meat or white meat on a turkey, do you prefer chocolate, white or dark, which is more socially significant, tennis or football. Find a library and ask for recommendations on a topic, not languages, so fishing or surfing or skateboarding, and try and get somebody to help you select some books. Again, don't waste people's time. We're not here to sort of annoy people or get them, angry. And then eavesdropping. When you speak to somebody, try to speak to everybody you meet for an hour. Okay. But what we're saying here is try to speak to everyone you meet in an hour. So, for example, stand outside of a tube station or a train station or whatever, and as people walk in, try and say hello. Try and engage them in a conversation. Call a local radio station, ask for your favorite song. Tell someone you want to start a conversation with something else. So this is, could you ask that person over there if they would mind speaking to me? And then bonus points if you can get them to sort of introduce you to the person. Now, the next bit, reconnaissance, is when you're looking around the place and you're sizing up the enemy, etc. So here, go on a tour in the language that you're learning. Go to a museum and go through the tour. Try to attend an art show, a book reading, a music concert, outdoor festival, whatever, and attend in the target language. Sign up for a long bus ride and speak to the people as you ride the bus. Outdoor shopping at a fish market and haggle over the prices. Find fish or meat, get the names, what do they are, bottom dweller, etc. Get the person to explain to you what type of fish or meat that it is. Try and fit these questions into a conversation. What's the strangest thing about where you grew up, or what does your name mean? If they say, I don't know, what would you like it to mean? And you get points. Try and get points for each one you can sort of fit in. And honestly, just complimenting people on their clothes or accessories will get you a point. But also, it will actually get people talking to you, because people like to be complimented. Ask somebody randomly to tell you a joke. Go to the restaurant and ask the server, waiter, waitress to select your entire meal. and then get them to explain their choices. So this was the end of my presentation, and I spent a lot of time going through these missions, asking people to sort of throw out their own and possible questions, possible things they could do, where to visit, what to do, how they could infiltrate the country and learn to speak the language. So it's a very useful sort of game to think about, because it forces you to interact with the natives, and it gives you a chance to practice that's a little bit quirky and a little bit outside of what you might normally do, and certainly outside of your normal textbook ask for a reservation type thing that you get in a normal textbook. So it's a pity that we couldn't do the workshop, and it's a pity that it wasn't recorded, because it was lots of fun and it lasted well over 45 minutes of just people shouting out suggestions, and it was just a great time. So if you get a chance to go to a Polyglot gathering, I highly recommend it. And if you're going to a new country or target language country, try and do some of these games. Try and fit this into your schedule. All right. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you later. Bye.